to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. Here we go, starting off the new year, and I can't even come out. But welcome to a new episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast, and I'm so excited. My guest today, today's guest has lived to highest levels of success, from Hollywood blockbusters and global franchises to tech startups and exits. He's produced award-winning films, built and sold companies, and worked inside some of the biggest demanding industries in the world. But instead of chasing more, he asked the deeper question: why are so many successful people burnt out, unfocused, and unhappy? The question led him to build the Sukha company, a platform designed to help people reclaim focus, fulfillment, and a healthy work day. I'm excited for this conversation. Welcome to the show, Steven Puri. Steven, come on, Steven Puri. Hello.
Here we go. You know what? You can tell this is not AI slop because we're making mistakes already.
Oh yes, no. I
This
make
is
mistakes.
all real.
Yes, this is definitely all real. I make mistakes like anybody else. But you've lived at the highest levels of success, Hollywood, tech major.
Let's temper the craziness, okay? So anyone listening, playing along at home, in their car, here's the fun reason to listen to this episode, because you've done so many interesting episodes. Here's why to listen to this one.
Okay.
I have been an executive at a couple motion picture studios, worked on a bunch of movies that you know the names of. I have also raised over $20 million of venture capital.
Wow.
Run a couple tech startups, one successful exit, two failures, right? And it's true, you learn more from the failures than the success. So one of the things that really stood out for me was what you alluded to, which is I wanted to feel more in control of my day. I'm super distracted. There are beautiful apps that just want to suck me in between YouTube, TikTok, Insta, whatever, and like I want to have that feeling of like I'm ahead of my day, rather than every night I'm like, oh, I'll get up early tomorrow and try and finish what I can get done today. And I found that was pretty common. Shocker. So that's what I focus on right now. And a lot of it is around flow states, around this ability for your brain to get into a state where you actually like super focus and get stuff quickly, and you feel good at the end, not like drained. So anyway, happy to be here. Share some knowledge. Happy New Year.
So talking about that. What is it? Because we do get distracted very easily.
I know. Attention deficit. Hey, what are you eating? Yeah, I know. So here's the thing. We'll start out on a serious note, even though I think we both have a sense of humor. Okay, but serious note is this, man. If you look at the stock market, a bunch of the most valuable companies in this country, their business model is steal your life. Period. Full stop. That is their business model. And 10 years ago, like Zuckerberg would have to go to Congress and testify how he was doing bad stuff. And he'd like, aw shucks it. He's like, oh no, Facebook is just, for grandmothers to see videos of their grandkids. That's what we do here, And now they feel completely emboldened. They're like, listen, we have the best engineers, the best designers, the best behavioral economists on staff, and we pay them to steal everyone's lives. And by the way, next quarter, we'll create more shareholder value by using some new techniques to steal everyone's lives, right? And it's amazing because you think about if Mark called you up and said, hey man, I want to steal your life, and I'm going to sell it to these advertisers, and I'll keep the money, but I'll give you some dancing cat videos, buddy. Like you'd be like, hell no, right? But that is exactly it. And I just think it's criminal. And for some people, they're like, I'd have nothing to do with my life. Fine, I want to lie on the sofa, scroll. I'll be 80 years old. That grumpy guy was like, oh, I could have started that company. I could have written that book. I could have opened that restaurant. And you didn't. You're just 80 years old, fat, scrolling and double tapping on your phone. And that's where Elon and Mark and Evan, and they want you. But I think there are some other people who actually want to feel great in the middle of the afternoon and be like, I crushed it today. I have a couple hours before dinner. Like, let me do something I care about. Play with my kids, play with my dog, go windsurfing, whatever it is. And that's what we're all about. It's like, how do you get there? How do you get that feeling of being in control of your life and control of your attention, as opposed to just give it up and feel down on yourself.
And what are some things people can do to start working towards that? Like the
I tell you, this is the funny thing is this concept, which I know is becoming super popular, the flow states, everyone's cool about flow states. When I first experienced a flow state, I didn't know the term. I didn't know it was a thing.
Okay.
I live in Austin.
Mhm.
I was flying to SF and I had a meeting the next morning with my team where I wanted to show them like this idea for a feature, right? So I thought, get on the flight. Like Alaska runs that nonstop from Austin to SFO. So I get on the flight, mock up these designs, show them tomorrow, right? So go to get on plane. Captain's like, sorry, kids, the Wi-Fi's out, right? Okay, fine. We take off. I start working. 15 minutes later or so, we start descending. I was like, something's seriously wrong. Like we took off in Austin. We're going to land at DFW. Like they don't want to tell us what's wrong with the plane, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We haven't gone far. I looked down, over 2 hours and 40 minutes had gone by. I had no idea. I don't even know if the drink cart came by. I don't know the name of the fat dude next to me. Like nothing, man. But my designs were done. And I had in my mind prepared myself. I don't know if you've ever done this for, when I get there, I'll grab a sandwich in the lobby and go up to my hotel room and finish stuff for the morning, right?
Yeah.
I called a buddy of mine from the Uber. I was like, hey, man, I have a free night in SF. You want to have dinner? And it was weird feeling like ahead of the curve, not like, how do I kind of race to get things done before the morning meeting? Later, I realized that was a flow state. And now I know there are some of your listeners that are like, I'm a flow master, dude. Like I flow all the time. My brain trained. I'm listening to binaural beats. And there are probably others who have heard it casually. And if you want, I'm more than happy to define what it is, if that would be helpful.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, cool. So there was this dude, Hungarian-American psychologist named Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. I practiced that, by the way. And he had a thesis. He goes, you talk to high performers in very different disciplines, athletes, artists, scientists, inventors. And when they talk about the concentrated states they get into, when they do the thing that makes them famous, they talk about it in very similar ways, even though what they're actually doing is very different. He's like, there's something there. I want to figure out what it is. So he did all the research. At the end of it, he wrote a book. The book is called Flow. It is the seminal work. It's where we get the term flow state. And he said the greatest thing. He goes, after talking to all these people, I chose this metaphor flow because what I found is we are all on the river paddling to move ourselves forward. But if you align your boat with the current, it carries you. It magnifies your efforts. You go further and faster. And that is what these high performers have figured out how to do, and to do it repeatably. It is a fascinating book. People who are smart as shit have dug into it, done more research on what kind of music helps you, what kind of little tricks can get you, distraction free. Like Cal Newport, Near, and Stephen Kotler, like great minds have written on this. But that's basically what it is. And it's a state, which was what Mihai wrote. He wrote the state is basically you lose track of time. You're not watching the clock. Yeah. Distractions fall away. You do your best work faster than you think possible. At the end of it, you feel uplifted. You can feel a sense of joy as opposed to a sense of depletion. And that's what I'm all about now. I teach about flow states, help people, understand them. The people who care, the people who just want to waste their life, like I got nothing.
Yeah. So how did your definition of success change once you started really with the focus and the fulfillment over output?
Oh, it's interesting because in film, but when I left film, I was a vice president at Fox. I was running the Die Hard franchise, the Wolverine franchise, a bunch of action movie stuff for Fox, right? Which from the outside, a lot of people want that job. It seems like really prestigious. You go to film festivals all over the world. You shoot $150 million movies. You're on set, But I'll tell you this. I reached a point where I was like, yeah, maybe from the outside this seems really cool, but really, I'm just the guy here at the studio who is pushing out the soap I happen to be the guy making the $150 million action soap, but all my studio really wants is sequels and remakes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And if you look at it, most of the studio's output now is like Avatar 3, Wicked 2, Die Hard 19, The Wolverine 4, Wolverine meets the Avengers meets Harry Potter, it's like. So that was when I was like, okay, I think I got to peace out. I got to go do something I think actually helps people more than this. So that was for me the big redefinition of success, of just like, I want to do something where people come to me and go, hey man, because of what you did, I was able to actually do the thing I'm meant to do.
Yeah, and for me, it was when I started the podcast, it took me really challenging myself and stepping out of my comfort zone, because I didn't come from the world of media. I wasn't doing radio or anything. But
you got a voice for it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and a good mic, man. For those who are just listening and not watching, good mic.
Oh, I didn't start out with this. I didn't start out, I started with a $160 Behringer podcasting setup.
Yeah.
From Amazon. But when I decided that this is something that I really wanted to do, I started investing and I got
leveled up.
Yeah, I invested in myself. It was something I was like, people were giving me something very precious, which is their time. Mm-hmm. And for me, I felt like I need to give back in quality. I have to make sure my sound is on point. I need to make sure my video it works. So for me, I'm investing in myself because people are investing their time in watching and listening.
Dude, you have done that. Why did you start the podcast?
I was furloughed from work. Mm-hmm. And there was so much negative stuff going on, right? There was just so much. It was the 2024 elections, the 2020 election cycle. The George Floyd situation happened, COVID.
There's a lot of hard stuff.
Yeah, so I just wanted to focus more on having some great conversations, right? And have people come share their stories. And that's how it started. So I started interviewing people from anybody I could. At that point, it was me beginning, so I wanted to just get conversations but when I decided to just focus more on coaches and entrepreneurs and thought leaders like that, that's when it really started shifting and it's really started becoming what it is today. And so it's been a wonderful journey, man, being able to have these conversations and I've learned so much. The show has evolved from the first 7 minutes that was the first episode, was 7 minutes.
Yeah. But that's how it always starts. It's one step. When you're gone, how do you want people to remember you?
Whose show is this? Mine or yours?
Hey, it's our show. We have this time together.
Okay. Now, I just want people to say that the content that I put that was helpful. I just want to be able to that anyone who's watched any of my content, read any of the books that we put out, or whatever any of the stuff that we've done, that has been beneficial and helpful in their lives in any way.
Yeah. Okay. You and I are very alike in that regard. That is exactly where I'm coming from, where it's like, I've reached a point in my life, I've had a bunch of success, and I'm like, I would like to know that someone out there said, man, I was able to do the thing I'm meant to do. What you gave me helped me do what I'm supposed to be doing. And yeah, your content helps. In school, you got the pod and the books and the whole thing.
Oh no, it's been like before I even started. Like I'm a pit boss in a casino, and I didn't really know my purpose, right? I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing in life. Mm-hmm. And when I launched the podcast, it gave me direction. It gave me something. It gave me purpose. It gave me, because when people started actually reacting to the podcast and actually going into detail about certain episodes that they liked or whatever it was, mm-hmm. whatever they heard this episode and it helped transform them more. That's when it really started sinking in. Like, dang, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. this is creating this content to help impact people's lives, and the joy I get from it is just, it's amazing. Like the feeling I get to be able to create this content, to be able to to get the reactions and the emails from people. It's I love that.
Yeah, I get this. So let me ask you one little deeper question. So to put the time in
Mhm.
and the effort in and the investment in, like you said, you got a nice rig, right?
Yeah.
To do all these things with your life when you could be doing something else and spending on something else and the whole thing, right?
Mhm.
You must have a fundamental belief that people are worth it.
Yeah. Peop- Everyone's worth it. Like, to me, it's why I create the content I create. It's to
Yeah.
me, it's that there are people out there that need the guidance, that need the help, and if me or one of my guests is able to provide that to them, then yeah, I did- there's no question. There's no hesitation in me doing it.
Yeah, but not everyone believes that. Some people, just point to people doing nothing with their lives. Well, it's a waste of time. Let them go. And I'll tell you something because I just had a son. He's 8 weeks old, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Center of my life. Everything my friends told me, spot on, man. You're just like all about, how can he be happy?
Yeah.
And so why I'm on your pod is spent a bunch of time last year thinking like, what can I do that's unselfish, just like share knowledge that I have, because normally I get paid to speak. And I was like, you know what? A lot of people in my community listen to podcasts. Someone mentioned your podcast, like this is a great place to go share knowledge, right? So we're here sharing this. And I'll tell you, this is the thing that I believe is that I believe that we all have something great inside us. And the question of this lifetime is simply, are you going to get it out? And I watch as we hand off the world to my kids' generation. And we've created a lot of tools to make sure you don't get it out. Like, you know what I mean? There are some really great ways to spend your day just on Polymarket, spend your day on Insta, spend your day,
Right.
screwing around on Reddit, screaming at people on Twitter, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, you're like, so how did you get closer to opening that restaurant, writing your book, creating the app you want to create? Well, I didn't. But you know what? Who made money is obviously all those guys running those apps are just like, yeah, come back tomorrow and just waste your time, waste your money here, man. And that's the thing is, it's like, if you and I both believe that people have something inside them that is worthwhile, and we want to give them tools to bring it out, like don't die with that shit inside you.
I know. Absolutely. And that's why I've done a lot of the stuff that I like. I've launched an internet radio station. I've launched a publishing company. I've launched so many different things that I, I that they weren't in my wheelhouse. Like, these are things that I've taught myself the past 5 years. Now I'm going on 6 now. It, these are things that I taught myself, not because, and it was like, once I started podcasting, right, all these creative juices like started flowing, and all these ideas started. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do, and every time I spit an idea out, my nephew was like, all right, let's do it, and that's how it went. And
Go nephew.
oh yeah, and so now with him, he's like designing clothes and all this stuff, and it's like we push each other to, when we have an idea, we like, okay, what's telling us what we can do it? Why can't we do it? Like, all right, you have this idea, all right, let's see it through, and that's how we've been doing it. Like, and it's taken us these 5 years to really gain some traction, and really build something here, and with everything that we're doing. And I'm like, I'm not surprised, because I know the work that I put into it, but I'm in a way surprised that it is going the way that it is.
I am glad that you have each other. And I'll tell you a story about something where I had to make a decision, and you will appreciate this. So, I run a website and a community that's all about flow states. People trying to, like, get in a flow state, do their work faster, get out of work sooner, right? So I had this idea It's like, it's a single player game. Like you can come, press play, you get beautiful focused music, scientifically designed, you get timers, you get the whole thing, right? But it's kind of a single player game. Like you come, you go. But because I run the platform, I know everybody. Like one on almost like a hub and a spoke of a wheel. Like they all knew me, I knew them, and none of them knew each other. Right. And
Yeah.
I thought, should they?
Know each other. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, what if we had like a group chat or a place you could share what you're working on, kind of like talk to other people? So I talked to a couple of members. I was like, hey, can you give me 5 minutes? I just want to bounce some ideas off you. And I was like, would this be the coolest thing ever to know that you were in the company of other people who are all trying to do something? Or would this be just distracting AF, right? Would it just destroy the flow state thing? There was one woman I spoke to, she's still a member, and she listened to me. She said, Steven, listen, I can go to the Nike store. I can buy a pair of shoes. They will sell me a left shoe and a right shoe, put them on my feet, go running, work great. There's a reason 100 million people belong to the Nike Run Club, because together you run further and you run faster. You know, you're more accountable. Mm-hmm. And so I launched it in Sukha, the website, where if you want, you can talk to other people. Be like, hey, what are you working on? Oh, show me your website. You know, this is what I did today, you know? And it's my favorite part. It's more important to me now than just the, oh, hey, I'm, doing, my work and, getting my flow state on, right? And I'm glad you guys have each other to push each other, to question each other and congratulate each other, because that has become more and more and more important to me, that sense of we're in this together. Like, let's do this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. And that's one thing that I've realized and really been working on is networking and building relationships with people that, and I've been able to build some amazing relationships like with people that I've met virtually that we are now lifelong friends. Like
that's awesome.
It's been like a good friend of mine, Jeff Ravilla. He opened a podcasting theater right outside of Pittsburgh, and I had the honor last year of helping. Like he had an international podcasting weekend, and we were able to go in 2024 actually, and open the theater and have an event and host, and that was the first time we got to meet in person. But it was just it was a great experience to be able to build a relationship with him and him share his vision and his dream, and then him actually go out and open the theater, and so to connect with people like that and see them succeed at what their dreams and their visions is just inspiration and motivation to me.
Right?
It's like, oh my friend really was working hard and building. Like I can do those things. Like watching someone I know personally be successful is inspiring to me.
I'm with you. I'll tell you something that's very informative for me, or let's just say formative. So when I was coming up in film, I can't write. Like I'm not a good writer. I know that. I'm never going to write a great screenplay, but I've read thousands of screenplays, treatments, books, ideas for movies, pitches, right. So I'm a junior executive at Sony, and then went to DreamWorks, became executive vice president of Curtis University there, went to Fox, vice president, the whole thing, right? So you're reading a lot of material. People are continually coming, going, hey, buy my thing, buy my book, my idea, my video game. So I would go to this Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf to read. It's on it's kind of well known. It's right across from the Directors Guild on Sunset Boulevard, just west of Fairfax. There's a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, right next to, I think it was a Baja Fresh, now it's something else now. And it's kind of a writer's clubhouse. You go in there, and everybody's on their little MacBooks, tapping away, writing their thing. And what was so interesting to me was there was an energy in that room, even though people weren't talking. It wasn't a social hour. It wasn't like just table hopping, be like, what are you working? It was just this feeling of like, we're all trying to do something great. And, there was like the old guy in the corner who's written 3 studio movies this year. He's making, $1 million, $2 million a script, but he still comes here because this is his habit. This is where he gets his writing on, right? Mm-hmm. And you have people who are just off the bus from Iowa writing their first, TV pilot spec, next to you. And everyone sort of came there because there was something about doing it together, even though I know from coming there for years, most of them don't know each other.
It's the energy. Yeah.
It's the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some, and there's that great African proverb about if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is.
It's true. People say that because it is true.
It is definitely. It's one prime example for me was I'm actually I'm counting down the days because it'll probably be next Tuesday I head down to Florida for Podfest.
Podfest. Ooh.
And this will be my third time attending, but the first time was amazing, right? Because you're surrounded with people who are either beginning podcasters or experience, but a lot of them know the struggles of being an independent podcast because it's mainly independent podcasters that attend these events.
Yep.
And so they know the struggles. They know what it took to edit video or to edit audio when I needed to treat sound somehow, or whatever it is. Like, they know the struggles. So being able to connect with people like that and surround yourself with people that have gone through what you've gone through, and you can build off of that. And sometimes you connect with people who are a few more steps ahead of you, and you get to learn from them. And then there's people who are a few steps behind you, and they're learning from you. So it's just a great experience.
That is cool. Okay, so bring us back home. We went on a huge tangent. Where should we go?
Oh man. Okay. So oh man, this has just been great, man. I don't it's just been, but okay. So let's
I know you have questions. I don't want to take away your time.
But no, that's just fine. Because we're still having a great conversation. Like it works because we're still discussing stuff that is beneficial to people. It's not like we're just not talking about anything beneficial. People.
Okay. You want to talk beneficial to people? I will tell you the number one or number two conversation I have with people, because a lot of people in our community are trying to do work and they come at me and they ask a couple questions. I will tell you one that is either number one or two, which is always about distraction. Let me ask you this question. When you actually have to do real work, like deep work, like knowledge work, what distracts you? What is it that pulls you out and you're like, oh man, I just lost like 20 minutes?
Oh man. Probably if my phone vibrates or something.
Number one, you nailed it. Family Feud, number one, what is the phone? Right?
Yeah.
And it is so beautifully designed. The sound, the vibration, the look of the push notification, the whole thing. It is free dopamine, man. Just open me up. And it's amazing how well it's designed to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do to protect yourself from that?
I unplug.
Really? Yeah.
This time it is weekends. I don't check emails. It's for me to recharge my batteries. I do enough stuff, content, and I'm online pretty enough times. So yeah, the weekends is more focused. Like me and Sunday, me and the wife have our Sunday ritual. We'll go run some errands and stuff like that, and then come home. We'll order our usual, and we'll have Sunday dinner.
What's the usual? Come on.
Oh, Soul Sundays we call it, because we had some whiting with some shrimp, collard greens, and mac and cheese.
Nice.
Yes,
that's a nice way to start the week.
Yeah, so that's our Sundays. That's every Sunday. That's our thing.
There you go. Okay, so I love that you have a practice to deal with your phone. I admit the two things for me, like obviously I developed a flow state app because I needed it. And the two things for me are phone Absolutely. And I'll tell you, this is how bad it is for me. I can be writing a blog post for the blog or doing some coding on a new feature, whatever, right? I work on the blog post. I read a paragraph or two. I'm like, oh, this sucks. I need to rewrite it and sort of get that frustration. Or I'm like coding and the build keeps failing. I'm trying to figure out why. My hand, without my thinking, will reach for my phone. It's so trained to go, oh, let's just take a minute or two and see, if anybody WhatsApp me. I wonder what Mitch is doing. It's like that thing where you're just like, wow, they've got me, And the second thing for me is YouTube. And I'll tell you, there'll be a video, like suppose I want to code something and some great engineer made like a 3-minute video on like, here's how to use this bit of React, I'll watch the video and like 10 seconds from being over, YouTube goes, oh, Steven, I know you so well. Here's some candy. Do you want to click one of these? Random ass shit, right? It's like, do you want to see like Michael Jordan highlights? Do you want to see, A380 avionics? How does that thing fly? And I'm like, oh, I want to see all those. Click, click, boom. That 3-minute video turned into 30 minutes. And the pain you feel, it's not right then. The pain you feel is at 6:00 when you're like, why am I not done?
Yeah.
That's why.
It's easy, you get easily distracted. Yeah, definitely. Oh, believe me, YouTube is, but it's funny because a lot of the stuff that pops on my feed is a lot of learning and editing and all this other stuff.
Great stuff to watch, right?
So there's always new a new camera or a new software or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, learn how to use this software. So yeah, it kind of is just.
They know how to get you.
They do.
I know. Okay, so I'm gonna pitch you something. Tell me if this would work for you, because this is what I designed. Suppose you're working, and you went to pick up your phone, and when you picked up your phone, your laptop said to you, "Hey man, I see you on your phone. Is that helping you?" That's all it did. It just gave you that 1 second to go, hey, make this a choice. Don't do this because you're trained like a monkey. And you can still continue. You can still open it up, go to YouTube, you can do whatever, or you can put it down. Would that work if just like a friend said to you, like, hey man, I see you on your phone. Like, is that helping?
Yeah.
Would that be enough?
Yeah, because it's someone. It's like if you have that person kind of like holding you accountable, like, hey,
yeah,
man, put the phone down. Like, what you don't need it right now. Right now, you're working on something. Like,
yeah. Would that work, or you still be like, nah, I'm picking up my phone?
It would be like, yeah, I guess it would work for me. I know it would kind of like make me realize, like, yeah, they got a point. I shouldn't. Let me put this down and finish what I'm supposed to be doing.
Sometimes that's all we need. Like, suppose you went while you're working, you're doing your stuff, and you open up, I don't know, some website, Twitter, or something, and you just got a pop up in the center of your screen. It said, "Hey, it looks like this is a distraction. Is it?" And you just got to decide. You can dismiss it, keep playing around, or you can close the website. Would that help or no?
Yeah, I think it would.
Interesting. So this is what I thought too, is when you start your flow session, when you're like, I want to get in a flow state, you go to the website, hit play. There's a little QR code. You can tap with your phone, put your phone down, pick it up. Your little assistant says, hey man, I see you on your phone. Is it helping? For almost everyone in our community, they were like, this is a ground change. This is a game changer for us. Just, that's all I needed was like a buddy to tap me on the shoulder and go, hey, because you're going to get, you're going to get to 6:00 and be grumpy, now's the time to choose. Right. And I'll tell you a funny story. So I know the company I started has a weird ass name, the Sukha company, right?
Yeah.
People can't spell it. I know, whatever. It's life. You want to know where it came from?
Where?
So Laura, wifey, and I met in yoga like 10 years ago now, right? Daily yoga practice. It's a great part of, I love that hour a day. Like you have your Sunday ritual with your wife running the errands, So we try and make time every day to do that hour of yoga. So when we got married a couple years ago, where do you go on your honeymoon when you do tons of yoga? You go to Bali, right? Do yoga on the beach, hang out for 2 weeks, right? We're going away. And I said to her, listen, we have an early version of this flow state site. And I've come up with every bad name for it. Like, you don't know how many names, like on the whiteboard, I've just been like, flow state app, no. Distraction blocker, no. Right? I was like, you know what? I hope maybe on this trip, the universe speaks to me. It just goes, and here's a cool name. The way like Amazon is not called like bookstore, you know? Like Nike's not like running shoe place, you know? And Laura, being a really nice wife, was like, yeah, I wish that for you. I hope something comes up from unconscious. So when we got there, we landed. I said, you know what would fuel my unconscious, I think, is, do you mind? And that's kind of weird. But do you mind if I do like 2 or 3 quick Zooms with current beta testers who are using it and just ask them, what do you love? Like, what's the killer feature for you? And then maybe over the next 2 weeks, that bubbles into a cool word around that or something. And she's like, I'm going to the pool. I will see you at dinner, but good luck with your Zooms, buddy. Right? So I spoke to 3 people who said they would take 10 minutes to chat. Third guy, I'm going into the wrap up, man. I'm like, hey, thank you so much. We're at 8 minutes. Been really helpful. I've asked all what's your favorite feature, the music, the timers, right? And I'm going to let him go. And he says to me, Steven, you ask the wrong questions. I was like, okay, dude, I don't know that well. I'll take the bait. What was the right question? He said, you should ask me why I pay you. I was like, we charge like $10 a month. Like, it's not a big deal, but okay, fine. Why do you pay me? He said, I found the past year, I have 2 kinds of days. At 3 o'clock, I'm playing with my kids. They're currently 2 and 4. Or at 6 o'clock, I'm down on myself. Like, where did the day go? How did I not get everything done? I was busy all day. I realized the difference between those 2 days was, did I open your website that morning and hit play? So I pay you because my kids are not going to be 2 and 4 forever. And I was like, you win. That is a way better question than any shit I was asking. So I go to dinner with Laura. I was like, I spoke to this dude who's more articulate about what I'm doing than I am. I told her, I just told you. She's like, yeah, that's really good. So we're going to bed that night, brushing our teeth in our little spa robes, think we're cute little honeymooners, And Laura looks at me with like a mouthful of toothpaste and she goes, you know how you wanted the universe to speak to you? It did through that guy. We're in yoga. We hear all these Sanskrit terms like your karma and your prana, your life force and your dharma. She's like, he described to you Sukha. That feeling when you are in your lane, doing what you're meant to do and you're good at it. You're in control. He's trying to tell you he doesn't care about the features. He cares about being with his kids at 3 and not missing out on their lives because he's in control of his day. She's like, you should call it the Sukha Company. You're welcome. And for $14, I bought it that night. We went to bed. And that's why we call it the Sukha Company, which means basically like the happiness company. And it's just that thing of like, I want to be done at 3. And now I've got an 8-year-old son. Yeah, I want to spend more time with him than I want to spend writing our blog posts. Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's funny, right? Because my wife, because before I started podcasting, I spent way too much time gaming.
Oh, yeah.
And so once I got into podcasting, I kind of stopped. Like my PlayStation 4 was just abandoned there for collecting dust. And one day she's like, she says, how I know you're very serious about this. Like, this is something that I know you're really dedicated to. She says, your PlayStation over there is just completely just abandoned. Like, you used to spend hours gaming, and now you spend time podcasting and creating all this stuff. And she says, all right, what can we do? How can I help you turn this into something profitable, turn this into a business, whatever? So she helped me launch the LLC that became the production company and everything. So having her just seeing that I was actually good at something. Like, and it when I first started, yeah, I sucked, of course, because I was just beginning. But the more I was doing podcasting and the more I was learning, and then I was just improving with each episode. And it got to the point where, yeah, like she's like, you have a whole system now. Like you've built a system on how to build, like how to do your show.
That is super cool.
She's like, man, like just seeing you. She's like, just seeing you and seeing the work. Like she's believed in me since day one, right? And now there's other people recognizing it, and I'm telling her this, and she's like, okay, yeah, but I've always believed in you. She's like, I've always.
You married the right one. See?
Like, she says, yeah, I'm glad that you're realizing that these other people are believing in you. That's awesome. But just remember the original, like just remember where it came from first. Yeah. So yeah. So it's great to have someone like that that sees the vision. Even probably before I really did. Like she was like, what can, like I see like you're good at this. Like what are we gonna do? Like what can we do to make this more than what it is?
Yep.
But oh man, this has been awesome, man. I love it's this is one of my favorite types of shows where we're meant to go somewhere else, but it just turns into a great conversation. And
Exactly. These things are hard to script, but you just kind of like you go and go. Okay, so what else do you want to talk about? Because I'm your guest, as you said.
Oh man, so what's one of the biggest lies hustle culture sold your generation?
Probably multitasking. There's this great veneration for like, oh, you can spin so many plates and do so many things at the same time. And now research shows there is no such thing. You're basically built to monotask. And if you want to switch and be like, oh, well, I'm working on this, now I'm working on that other thing, now I'm working on this thing, no, you're just monotask on each thing. And in between, you're burning brain energy switching because you have to, on task one, store what you're doing so you can pick it up later, right? Then you have to remember where you were with task two. So you load that. It's almost like a computer where it's like, okay, stop doing this, store it to RAM, then load back from RAM, like where you were on task two, monotask on that, and then store that, go load task three. So what you end up doing when you think you're juggling all these things is you're doing the same amount of monotasking interrupted with just burning your brain trying to remember what was I doing on the old thing, right? And here's the funny thing. So and this is me just being, I don't know, vulnerable or stupid or whatever, but something that really bugged me was I found that when I did have like a task list in front of me, like, oh, here are the 7 things I need to do today, right? Which is ridiculous because you're not going to get 7 big things done, right? I would jump around and like, well, I could chip away at this for a little bit, and then, oh, I have some time, work on that, and then just, right? So I would do this jump around thing. Not helpful. And something that would help, and this is so stupid, is when I was in a session in Sukha, I would, when you press the play button and you hear the music and everything, I would hide all of my task list except the top 3 things. So I couldn't focus on like, well, I should go do a little bit of that thing. Oh, I should, I could quickly pay that bill. It helped me get through those top 3. So I rolled it out for everyone. Now everyone, when they hit play, all you can see are your top 3. Can I tell you, people are 77% more likely to finish all 3 than before when they could see their whole list. Same members, same tasks, but just that thing of like, oh, I should focus. Like, this is what I'm here to get done. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, like that lie around like great productivity minds or multitaskers, big lie.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely when you think you're like you said, when you think you're breaking whatever you were doing over here to pick up where. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's draining. It can be very draining on your brain.
Yep.
So how do creativity and focus actually feed each other instead of competing?
Well, here's the thing: is you creativity and focus. You can think about. There's a part of creativity that is making associations that don't seem linear. That seem just kind of like, oh, I don't know, chocolate and peanut butter. Like what was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are other parts where it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. I need to execute this thing. Like, Picasso painting Guernica. Like, at some point, you got a plan. You're not just making it up randomly as you go, right? Although it may begin from the thing of like, how would I capture the horror of war? Like, so it needs kind of both. It needs that free association, weird kind of like back of the mind thing. And then it also needs front of the mind thing going, okay, I got to get the paint out and get a huge canvas and like start doing this, right? So there's a bunch of research around sort of the two networks in your brain. And this is a little reductive, but it's, I think, helpful to think of it this way. About from a very young age, you have like a default mode network, right? It's almost, think of it like a baby where it's just looking around going like, I wonder what this cell phone tastes like, And it's just like making up interesting, weird observations of the world and questions. And then as you become more mature, you have an executive mode network, right? Which executes action. I got to be at work on time. I got to write my term paper tonight before class tomorrow. I got, so you got to execute. I got to do the dishes, right?
Yeah.
What's interesting is, so when you're older, sometimes the executive mode network, almost like the adult in the room, can stifle the default mode and be like, now we're just doing this thing. We're doing it a linear way. We're going to get done. I'm the adult. Don't put the phone in your mouth, right? You little kid. And it's not always where the great ideas come from. I'll tell you a real life example where I learned this. My first job at USC was at a small ad agency that did trailers for Warner Brothers, Buena Vista, MGM. And it was run by these two dudes who had both been vice presidents of on-air promotion at different studios, different networks. And so one of the guys, Jeff, and for the purpose of the story, he calls me Stevie. He's the only guy in my life who's ever called me Stevie, but yes. So my job in this story is I'm like 20 years old, and when the studios would send us rough cuts of movies, I would then choose a writer-producer on our staff to write the trailer, right? So Jeff comes in my office one day. He's like, hey, Stevie. I'm like, hey, Jeff. So Bart, right? I think to myself, there's a guy in the vault who like delivers tapes named Bart. I was like, yeah, I met Bart. Yeah. He goes, you ever give Bart a trailer to write? I'm like, Jeff, are we talking about like the runner who picks up coffee and like drops off tapes? Or are we talking about the same Bart? Is there a different Bart? He's like, no, that one. I got an instinct about him, Stevie. Jeff, like, you've been doing this for 20 years, have this amazing reputation. If you think we should give him a shot, let's give him a shot, dude. Like, who am I? I'm 20 years old. You're Jeff, right? Jeff Callahan. So Jeff comes to my office 2 days later. Stevie, what'd you give Bart? And I named some like Warner Brothers B title that had like a long deadline. So if he hated it or couldn't do it, I could give it to a pro and just bang it out, right? So I named this thing. He goes, what else do you give him? I was like, Jeff, he's never written a trailer before. I gave him one thing. I don't want to have him blow his brains out. Jeff goes, no, Stevie, let me explain to you how creativity works. The part of your brain that does the interesting work is not the part you think you're thinking with. If you give Bart one movie to watch and write a trailer, he's going to have little beads of sweat that come down his like temples, and he's going to write the most obvious B version of that trailer you can imagine. Because the part of your mind that does that weird, like peanut butter and chocolate, what do they taste like, right? He's like, that only gets to work when the front of the brain is like distracted. So you have to give him a second movie because he'll have the good idea on the first one while he's working on the second. Can I tell you my entire film career and my tech career so far, how many times I've seen Jeff proven right? So I don't know. Hey, do you ever have ideas when you're showering, driving, doing the dishes, walking, something like that, not focused on the thing?
Yeah. Always. It's
That's why.
It's been plenty of times where I've just been doing something, like just focused on doing something,
Bingo.
and things like ideas just popping, and you're like, okay, where did that come
That's it.
from? Yeah,
Well, that's it, man. I'm telling you, it's like you, once you understand that your executive mode network needs to be kind of like occupied, driving, doing whatever, that's when the default mode goes, mom's not watching. I can like try some crazy shit.
yeah, absolutely.
There's a long answer. You asked me about, multitasking, creativity and stuff. You gave a long answer.
So, what worries you the most about the future of work if we don't fix how people focus on it?
Oh my God. The thought of going into a world where LLMs, which most people conflate AI and LLMs, large language models are mainly what people are referring to, which large language models are basically Google autocomplete on steroids. That's all they are. Is they've just been trained on a whole lot of things.
Yeah,
So they're like, hey man, I can predict that if you say this, probably the next character is that, the next word is this, the next thought is that. And I can string that kind of link, that kind of logic together with a probabilistic way. And it seems like thought, and it's not thought. Right? So a lot of jobs that are like kind of pattern matching, yeah, LLMs do them really well. They do them all day and all night, practically for free. The cost of electricity and some CPUs, some GPUs, right?
yeah,
So that's going to go away. So what is interesting about being a human? It's creativity. It's strategic thinking. It's higher level stuff. So I'm thinking a lot about, by the time my son is thinking about being in a job, like doing something, yeah, it's not going to be a lot of these like rote jobs, like analyst level stuff. Hey, man, my GPT can do some great analysis really fast and pretty cheaply, right? I don't need you to analyze this stock or this screenplay or this whatever. It's like, I kind of got it. But it is that thing of just saying, like, where does a great idea come from? Probably not an auto predict engine,
yeah.
So that's what worries me the most is that we need to adapt and do things that are actual human intelligence, not just pattern matching, or you're out of your job.
Yeah. So now, what gives you hope about how people are starting to rethink success?
That implies that I have a lot of hope. I'm just saying, there are days where I'm like, wow, right now, the wealthiest technocrats are just talking about the divide and how the divide becomes greater because you're basically in a job where you own, a tech company, you own, that you're at the highest level and you're just laying people off at the bottom, and that increases the wealth divide. That's why we're in a K-shaped economy. And I think it's going to get worse. So that's why I'm making a tool for people who are like, man, I got something to do. I'm like, here, focus, do it. Don't be swept out to sea because, the David Sachs and the Andreessens and the, Elons of the world, they're super happy to watch you just ground into the dust while, they own the company.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Not a hopeful answer. Sorry. True, honest answer.
So now we're gonna close this. We're gonna close it out with this. So if someone feels stuck in their mind right now, overworked, overwhelmed, and disconnected, what do you want them to remember as they walk away from this episode?
Each morning, the first thing you do is think of the one thing. Each morning, do not start your day. Don't open your phone. Do anything until you think, what's the one thing I'm going to do today that will move my life forward? Not 2 things, not 3 things, not 18 things. You're not going to do 18 things. But what is the one thing that when I go to bed tonight, I need to get done so my life moves forward? And do that every single morning.
Awesome. Well, now we've come where you get the spotlight and you get to plug away, let everybody know where they can find you, websites, everything.
Oh, well, if there's anything that I've said that is interesting and someone has a question, My email address is really public. You can email me, be like, hey, I want to read more about flow states. I want to read about, Cal Newport, whatever. Drop me an email. Happy to reply. I'll give you a link to something to read. My email address is Steven, Steven, at the Sukha, THESUKHA.co. And if anyone wants to try getting into a flow state, it's what we built. It's a website, all the tools you need. So it's, of course, at the Sukha, THESUKHA.co for company. Yeah, drop in the group chat and say hi. Say, hey, I heard John, stuck.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest. I appreciate your time. Don't leave just yet. Let me just close out the show and we'll chat a little bit off the air. But thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest, man. This has been dope, and I
This
appreciate
is super fun. And thank you to everyone who's still listening. I love you.
appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Another great episode is in the books. Oh man, that was just so. I just enjoyed that so much. If this conversation made you rethink how you work, how you focus, or how you define success, don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with someone who's winning on paper but struggling inside. And if you're ready to rebuild your focus and protect your energy, connect with Steven and explore what Sukha is building. And as always, stay curious, stay grounded, and don't stay stuck in your mind. Peace out.